Welcome to Mindless Entertainment. It is I, Jesse Milestone, coming to you on this Friday with both good news and bad news.
I have a really bad feeling about this.
Where people were just walking around, just jizzing force all over the place. He looks like he has been drinking soy from his mother's teat. Wrap yourselves in, guys, because we are gonna get mean!
I got him! Great kid! Don't get cocky!
Welcome to Mindless Entertainment! It is I, your God Empress, Jesse Milestone. That's Jeff.
I hit my elbow.
Jeff. Why do you always manage to sit in the worst angles? I don't know. It's like you don't want to be seen.
It's a boyfriend thing.
We are joined, guys, back again after so long away. We thought he might have accidentally killed himself or something. Fallen off the flat earth into the non-existent depths of Australia. Eaten equally by Donald Trump and Joe Biden alike, the both greatest saviors and terrors on this planet. You know, let's just cover all the bases right off the get-go. The world sucks. It's on fire. Alec Baldwin killed someone. And Sean knows a lot about guns, so he, in a little bit, once we get through the intros, is going to take us through he's going to take us through that whole scenario. We're going to have some words about it. But also joining us tonight, guys, make sure you go sub to her channel because she is phenomenal. Baby Outlaw. I'll call her Squib, but you call
Hi, Baby Outlaw. Hello, everybody. Y'all know me. I hail from the great state of Texas. I am a writer and an artist, and I am really excited to be here with the Mindless Mob's very own firearms expert, Sean FireFart, and then, of course, the ever so never changing authentic Jesse fucking Milestone and her lovely bae, Jeff. Thank you for having me.
I do them.
Thank you for
I approve of that introduction.
Solid.
I don't
Thank
even
you.
introduce myself. I'm here.
There you go. Jeff is here. Hi. How are you, Jeff?
I'm lovely.
That's good. Let me just make sure I got go big. Okay. I just want to make sure I get everyone's channel link so I can post them obnoxiously
I'm trying to get my fucking
for
channel
forever.
You just had to
Go big. Ah, I missed a very important word.
Uh-oh.
There we go. Yay. Look, I'm subscribed to you. That's good. At least I'm not unsubscribed. I already got No, I thought I might have, but I think my phone was just being dumb. But it looked like I had already gotten unsubscribed from Andy's channel once, which was terrible.
I wouldn't be surprised if you got unsubscribed from mine. And my channel's like, it was like cruising, and all of a sudden it just went poof.
Yeah. Mine always does at this time of year, so.
Well, it happened a while ago. I'm like, gee, YouTube, does this have something to do with my content, maybe?
Your content is not allowed anymore, Sean. It is bad.
Nope.
It is banned.
No more guns. They're I'm just kidding.
Guns are extra bad. Question though. Like, doesn't this all sort of prove that the whole, if we just take your guns away, everything will be better debate? Because like the people who did the bad gun safety are the screaming fucking liberals. It's like you just nullified your own argument. Like, you're the ones being like, oh my God, take the guns away. But you just proved that the problem isn't the guns, it's the ignorance about the guns. Because you don't hear about this shit from like, you wonder why you never hear the news story about like the drunk family that accidentally shoots each other like the day after Thanksgiving. No, because like they've all been drunkenly going out shooting since they were like 2, and they understand gun safety in their fucking sleep. They probably still shouldn't be doing it drunk, but
No.
But the thing is, like, you hear way more about like retarded parent takes 13-year-old to gun range, gives them AK-47 and people die. You're like, okay, that's a lot of people did stupid things there. But like, you very rarely hear like family who has used firearms to hunt for their food for generations accidentally murders each other because they suck at guns. Like,
One thing I know about guns, and it'd be very surprising for you guys to know that I wished I knew a little bit more about them because I'm from Texas. That's like a big thing. It's a fucking big deal down here. But I know my dad told me you treat every fucking gun like it is loaded and you never point it at somebody. It doesn't matter if you think it's unloaded. There could be a bullet in the chamber that you didn't know about. It doesn't matter if the clip is empty. It doesn't even matter if there's not a clip in it, period. You never fucking treat a gun like it is unloaded. And that's basically rule number 1. You always treat it like it's loaded. You know?
Yeah, it's literally rule 1 in the 4 primary rules of gun safety. Rule fucking 1.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Sean, what are the other 3 rules then?
Okay, so the first one is, and I'm being honest in saying, the next 3 kind of happen if you follow the first one. So the second one is that you always point the muzzle in a safe direction, or as we like to say, do not point a gun at anything you are unwilling to destroy.
Yeah.
That's how
So, say a loved one, you know.
You aim to kill.
Yeah. Well, and just the bottom line is, you know, if I'm going out to the desert to shoot a video, sure, I'm going to point my gun at the watermelon because I intend to destroy that.
Mm-hmm.
And it will be entertaining, trust me. But, yeah, I'm okay about destroying the watermelon, and that's just, okay, yeah. Number 3 is always keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to shoot. This is how, if you ever watch, oh, sorry, everybody's telling me, let me try and move my mic
Apparently
away.
we're loud again, yeah.
Sorry,
We've been trying to figure this mic stuff out for
Yeah,
a
just try to
while
push
now.
back from it a little bit.
Yeah, okay, so here, I'll just kind of, sorry, thanks for the heads up on that. Okay, so the third rule is always keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to shoot. This is how we have gun fails on the internet of people shooting themselves when they draw the gun out of a holster.
Yeah.
Because, you know, realistically, like I was kind of illustrating this to Ashley earlier, is when you draw, you know, the gun comes up, and then when it's actually at the target is when you start to put the finger in the trigger. That way you don't shoot yourself in the leg, or shoot someone else, or shoot something you don't want to shoot. Again, just found that second rule now.
Like your penis.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I said like your penis. You don't want to shoot your penis.
Yes.
Shoot your dick off.
Actually, it's funny that you say that. There's something called appendix carry, and yeah, you can point it. I don't like it because it points it right at your junk, which that's a bad thing, but also that points right at your femoral artery.
Ooh, no.
Oh,
God.
God. Yeah, that's death sentence right there.
That's literally like the guy next to you is going to do this, and dead. It's going to be that fast. It will end quickly, and it will be terrible.
No.
And then the fourth rule is you always make sure of what your target is and what's beyond it.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Important.
And there's a number of times in some of my videos I've talked about, you know, hey, I'm shooting at pumpkins, and I shoot through 10 pumpkins, and I didn't expect to go through all 10, but that's why I have this gigantic dirt berm behind me, so that it goes into the dirt, you know, and not off somewhere where I have no idea where it went.
Reasonable. Very reasonable. Very good. Very important. Very yes.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
So
Those are the rules.
Sean probably got the microphone away.
Okay, apparently you can still be further from your mic, which, yeah.
Poor Sean.
Let me see if I can lower my mic sensitivity here. Give me a moment.
Last time he just disappeared almost entirely when that happened. I do have a super chat. I'm going back into I have to go back into the butt fuck of YouTube to find my
the backside of fucking beyond.
Seriously,
ass end of nowhere.
Because this super chat, this beautiful super chat, was not allowed to be read. But it's from Dateslav Act Mandcarry, who says, "Please don't get into the What can I gotta fucking? Okay, come on. Boop boop badoom. Please don't get into the should done or is to blame talk. Wait for the investigation to completely come out."
I agree with that.
So yes, so tonight Dateslav will be operating off of the information that we do have, and that's why we brought in Sean, because he is a gun expert. I actually, I don't know if he's going to be around. I don't think he's going to jump on with us, but I do have some information that I got from a friend who has worked in production at high levels, like Marvel sets and stuff like that, and had some feelings regarding the chain of command when it comes to props. So we're gonna mostly let Sean take this, and like we'll weigh in based on the information he gives us on what our opinions are, because we have opinions.
Yeah.
But in terms of analysis, we're leaving that to people who are actually analyzing information with a level of expertise that we don't possess.
Right.
Couple things. I just changed something with my mic. How are we doing now?
That's
Brilliant.
perfect.
That's the best you
That's
sound.
beautiful.
best you've
There's
sounded all
that
night.
smooth,
That's
silky
perfect.
FireFart voice.
Like you have such a wonderful voice, dude. Like it
There.
should not be
We were-
destroyed by
No.
bad mic etiquette. It just
Yeah.
can't. It's
Gotcha.
unacceptable.
All right, now we're better.
Fucking
And
unacceptable.
Greg Kirby, thank you for the super chat. Alec Baldwin, actor, pulled the trigger. Producer didn't check. So this is the ground we're about to cover. So, Sean, you wanna take us through the incident?
Yeah, I've been trying to read up on this. I have a friend she gets very into like crime and criminal stuff, so she and I have been kind of going back and forth on some of the information. What I'm hearing, and I think there's a couple of things that could have gone wrong, and I'll share what sounds like the most likely thing from what I'm hearing, is for some reason, and I'm just going to play the part of if I was the armorer, and I wasn't there, so I want to be really fair, but apparently some of the people on the set took the gun that was supposed to be used on the set with blanks out to shoot recreationally.
Yep, that's what we're hearing.
When I heard that, I literally went through the roof. I was like, are you trying to have an accident?
Apparently.
Because it just really is an issue when you start crossing that line. And the reason why is, to me, and I'm not a Hollywood person, I don't know the rules, but if they said, okay, hey, Sean, you come and be our armor. Okay, ammunition will never be on set. I want no live ammo. You bring live ammo on set, you're fired. Like, seriously.
Absolutely.
I would fire someone off. And if someone said, and I said, well, where's the prop? Oh, we took it out shooting last night. Who? Oh, me and John. You're both fired. Get off the set. I would be furious.
Yep.
And there's a lot of other things I would do, but I mean, I would have a rule where it's, okay, so if I'm the armorer, I'm going to check it to make sure all we've got is blanks. Person who picks it up to bring it to Alec, you're going to check it. Alec, you're going to check it. Right. Because I'll give you a quick example here, just because I do have some props. But
so, by the way, that is what is supposed to happen per my friend, is that I guess the armorer is supposed to check it, the prop master is supposed to check it, and the actor, they are all supposed to check that it is not loaded. That's actually I read in an article that was on per the set. One of the witnesses said his words were like it was supposed to be checked by 3 different people before it went into Alec Baldwin's hands. So
they didn't check the chamber.
Right. Well, and I actually have a real firearm that is based on what was on set, and I'll get to that in a minute. But so, for example, this is how safety should work. This is my Glock 19. It's a 9mm semi-auto. When I pull it out for any reason, whether it's for a demonstration, if I want to clean it, if I'm going to go to the range, first thing I do is I open the chamber. I already took out the magazine, but I open the chamber, and I actually will look in there, and I often do put my finger in there just because people do things on automatic. You see it. So people just go, oh, yeah, there's nothing in there. And then bang.
Yeah.
So I like to make sure it's in there and stick my finger in there because it becomes a tactile thing. But this is exactly how it will go in my house. And I'm so proud of Ashley for this, my wife. That's Doxy Mama in the chat for anyone who doesn't know.
Doxy Mama.
She'll see me look at this, and then I'll turn and hand it to her. And literally, she just saw me check it. She knows it's unloaded. What does she do?
Checks it again.
Checks it again.
Exactly.
I've said it before on your streams, Jesse. There is no such thing as too safe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
You really can't. And this incident is so terrible because it could have been avoided. And I want to say real quick, I'm not a huge Alec Baldwin fan, but I'm sure this guy is just distraught.
God, of course.
I would not wish this on my worst enemy. I know that people have very, very incendiary fucking opinions about Alec Baldwin, but I would never wish this upon anybody because somebody is fucking dead.
Exactly. Right. It's horrible. That's gonna
exactly. It's like, there's so much fault, at fault to there's so much fault to go around here, like them not checking it properly. And one thing I heard is that gun had actually malfunctioned before.
Oh,
It had
I heard that
misfired
as
like
well.
a couple of times. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? I think, you know, you should never, there's no reason for a real gun to be on the set unless you're planning to fire blanks, because a blank's not going to go through anybody. It'll hurt like a bitch, but it's not going to, you know, go through you.
Now here's a question in terms of legality. So like the actual what happens is someone was handed a gun, told that it was unloaded. They treated it as if it was unloaded, and then they accidentally killed somebody. Where does that fall, like in terms of legal culpability? Does anybody?
It seems like negligence.
Yeah, negligent homicide is probably what we're looking at.
Yeah, because I would think like at some level, it's like, you know, you still killed somebody. You were still the person who had, like, and there still is that last, like, if you, and that's where I come to, where like the way it goes in the way it works in Hollywood, actors are not regarded as being responsible for the props. So the actor, in regardless of what how the law is going to treat it, the Hollywood circle is going to look at Alec Baldwin as not being responsible on that front. Now, somebody else did point out he is one of the producers on the project.
Yeah.
And in that regard, he's actually going to become very culpable because especially, you know, if he has anything to do with being the person who chose these armorers who acted like retards, you know, it's like, okay, you hired people without doing your due diligence. And someone died.
And I also heard that whenever the, you know, because they had an actual crew of the union, like a union crew, but when the crew had found out that there was a gun on the set, and it was a real one, and it had misfired a couple times, they fucking walked. So they hired local people to come in and try to do that. And I'm just like, y'all should have just never got it. Do you know what kind of gun it was, Sean? That it was, it obviously has to be some kind of a revolver, right? You know, if it's an Old West, it's that. Yeah. You fucking check the chamber, all right? You know,
that's not a that's an easy check.
Well, it's a little bit of a more difficult check on this than a double action, because now I've got snap caps. I'm just going to drop them out real quick, so bear with me for a moment.
Perfectly fine.
I actually got this not too long ago because I wanted a Colt single action Army clone, and that's exactly what this is. It's actually, if anybody's curious, the actual make and manufacturer is a company called Cimarron, which is Italian, and it's called the Pistolero. But you have to, and I'm turning, there's nobody behind me, but you have to open up, you have to pull the hammer back to half cock, open up your loading gate, and then as you can see here, spin it to look. And just a little light here. Whoa, that's too bright.
That's why they call it Russian roulette.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. But you can, you know, that's where you can, you know, shine the light through there to see that the chambers are empty.
Yeah.
And what can be very frustrating, though, is, of course, you know, unlike a double action, which will swing the cylinder out, this you have to rotate and look at it. But the thing also I will say about these is you're a fan of the of the Blackhawk.
Yeah.
The Blackhawk is now what they sell is called the new model Blackhawk, and it actually started out something like this. And it actually now is a different action that is a lot safer. Because this gun, and it's really hard to see. I'm going to see if I can put it up to the camera here. If you can see the firing pin, I'm almost getting it. There it is. If you can see that firing pin there is protruding.
Yeah.
So if there is a round in the chamber that the firing pin is under, you can set it off that way.
Oh.
And Ruger changed that with their new model Blackhawk. I won't get into the details of it, but now basically it's pretty much impossible to have that happen.
That's
but
good.
So even if you pull it to this little kind of this little medium, like kind of this spot here, it can still rest on it. So a lot of guys in the Old West would actually carry these with 5 instead of 6, and they would carry basically so they'd have an empty chamber where the firing pin was. So that way, you know, if you're gonna shoot, when you pull the hammer back, it'll cock it and rotate the chamber around so that you can fire, but then you don't have to worry about an accidental discharge with the firing pin being struck. And what happened here to me is like one of the big problems that you can have on a set, and actually I'll go through what happened on The Crow too, is when you have revolvers, it's a little different. If I want to, so let me just grab the Glock 19 again. If we want to have a shot Oh, hang on a minute. Snap cap, so everybody knows, not loading lime ammunition. But if we want to have just empty, there's nobody in this direction. It's a garage. We want to have a scene. Well, I just want people to know I'm being safe.
Right.
But if we want to have a scene where I'm like pointing the gun at the camera, you can't tell it's not loaded.
Yeah.
So with a revolver, you can tell right away when those cylinder chambers are empty.
Right.
That it's not loaded. And I'll show you what I mean with the exact gun that they have on set, which is, by the way, the move they were talking about is something called a cross draw.
Mm-hmm.
So let me tell you what that is. Cross draw is you wear it on this side and you draw it across your body.
Mm.
So that's what that means. It's a little bit of a quicker draw, but part of the reason why guys like me don't like it is if I'm coming up this way, I'm pointing at the ground and then at the person I'm threatened by. Whereas here, if there's people here, I just flash the gun across all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So
in the bathroom real quick. Don't say anything too interesting while I'm done.
Okay, we'll come back to exactly what I'm getting at about what you know, the look about when it looks loaded, when it looks unloaded, because it can be a real problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so we'll get into the how they try and get around that, how that can be a problem, how it can get people killed. And Jeff, I like the beard.
Oh, thanks. I'm just really lazy recently. My friend's coming to visit though, so I'm gonna shave before he gets
Like
here.
your hoodie you got on there, Jeff. That's some sweet self promotion right there. I dig
Actually,
that.
it's a t-shirt and a bathrobe.
Oh well, you know, it looked like a damn hoodie. What am I gonna do?
I think what I'm gonna do is I'll put this on the shop WCBS site. Our friend Miss Ninja Julian asked. I had this made for a 2020 convention, and then 2020 happened and no conventions. So.
Oh gosh. You know what you ought to do is sell the bathrobe too. Just start selling bathrobes so everyone can have that shirt and then wear a bathrobe and be on a stream.
Oh my god!
I feel like I'm ripping off Jesse's
I'm gonna
brand
have
if I did
mindless
that.
mob bathrobes one day. So.
Dude, that would be so fucking dope if you had mindless mob bathrobes. It'd be
It's
like,
gonna
you know,
happen.
have the
the silk ones, the like
yes.
yeah.
Can you get WCBS man thongs going?
Yes.
We already have them in the works.
And
Actually, I'll admit, if you did WCBS boxers, I would buy a pair.
I'd buy a pair too.
Andy
shit.
says we need a WCBS dressing gown.
I'm
Yeah.
all on board with Andy. Start up your dressing gown business.
Do
you know?
it. Do it.
So let me kind of illustrate.
Yeah,
So when you point the revolver at the camera here, you can see the chambers are unloaded.
Yes.
Mhm.
So if I put it, let me grab my snap caps here because that'll be the easiest way to kind of illustrate the point first. And I'll kind of illustrate something that can go wrong, and it is what went wrong in the case of the Crow.
Yeah.
And it is what killed Brandon Lee, which is just terrible. By the way, interesting story. Michael Massey, who was the actor who shot him, never got over it.
I would never get over that either.
Yeah,
ever.
They really had to work hard to get him to come back on set because he was so upset and distraught, and he had nightmares 20 years later, and he passed away, I think, in 2011. He had a heart attack.
Heesh.
By the way, for those of you who are fans of The Crow, that was the actor who played Fun Boy.
That just makes me so sad.
So now you can see those snap caps in there.
Uh-huh.
And when I cock the gun, you can see the gun rotate. Now they're designed to be struck with the firing pin, so this is the safe way to do something stupid, so to speak.
There you go.
And now the way that they do this in Hollywood is they create dummy rounds, and the way you're supposed to create a dummy round, if you're smart and safe, is that you take an empty brass casing and you will not put any type of a primer in it or powder, and you just have a bullet in a piece of brass. Now, just so you can see, this is, I actually loaded some dummy bullets for this specific reason so you guys could see it. This is a 250 grain 45 Colt bullet in a 45 Colt casing, and I'm going to flip it around, and you can see there's just this empty pocket here. That's normally where the primer would go. The primer ignites the powder. I reload ammunition as well, and so I have the tools to take all this stuff apart. Now, a spent casing, just so you can see, you know, no powder, no bullet. There's the spent primer. You can see it's been struck by the firing pin.
Yep.
And here's what some people will do, and what happened on the set of The Crow, and this is just awful.
Yeah.
The guy who was on set, they found a box of loaded ammunition for the pawn shop scene, and someone's like, we can't have this on set. So they took it off, and they decided to make dummy bullets with those cartridges. So
One of
they
them had a casing and a primer inside, didn't it?
pretty much, because what happened is they pulled the bullets, emptied the powder out, they loaded the bullet in, fired the primer, which still makes a loud pop, and then they added a bullet. And so essentially what we've got here is the way they did it. See, there's the fired primer. Let me see if I can. Yeah, there we go. Don't focus on me. But you can see that the primer is actually in the pocket. It's been struck.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's just not focusing.
That's okay. I can see the primer.
Yeah, but that little silver thing. And then they used these instead of doing what I did, which is no primer pocket. And I will admit that could damage the firing pin, but if I'm the armorer, I will pay for a new firing pin. That's okay. Okay, I'd much rather not deal with that because here's a loaded. Now I do have these in a box, and they're going to go back in the box because I'm real serious about this. But this is a loaded 45 Colt round, same bullet, and you can see I've got actually copper-colored primers in there. But see, if there's no powder in there, it's what we call a squib load, and that is strong enough that when the gun goes, when you pull the trigger, that primer will push the bullet into the barrel. And that's what happened on the set of The Crow, is that someone didn't fire all the primers out, loaded a bullet in it, and it lodged in the barrel. Then, when they went to shoot the scene, they put blanks in there, and that's basically giving you all the powder of a full power load. And Brandon Lee was shot right in the chest.
Jesus.
And
Was it the stomach or?
I think it was the chest.
No, it was the stomach. I think it was. People are saying the stomach.
It might have been. I don't remember. I'm being honest.
Yeah.
In the abdomen.
In the abdomen.
But so
once again, and I'm just loading up just so people can see, when you use dummy bullets, and these are my ones that don't even have a primer, a spent primer in it. But when you have dummy bullets in here, darn it. Sorry, hang on.
You're fine, Sean. Don't worry about it.
Everyone else, while you're if you haven't yet, make sure you press the like button.
That's right.
There it is. See, now you have the illusion of a revolver loaded with live ammunition, even though it's not loaded.
Right.
So now I don't know if I can show this. It's not on YouTube, but I did make a video today of me firing intentionally a squib load and lodging a bullet into the barrel of the gun and showing that it gets stuck in there. If you're okay with me sharing my screen, I can show it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely, Sean.
Yeah, and
1 second, I gotta go tinkle, but you can go ahead and show. I'll be back.
all right, cool. So let me just put this stuff down. Put the gun over there. And by the way, so just so everybody knows, this is the firearm that was used in that video. In case if anybody wonders, I will show that the bullet came out, but this is something I would do on set before every scene. I'd be like, all right, everybody give me your gun. We're checking for bore obstructions. See, right there, it's going all the way through. There's nothing stuck in the bore.
Yep.
I don't care if somebody thinks it's a waste of time. It's not a waste of time if it saves a life.
So here's the thing. This was not even done during active shooting. He was practicing. Now,
why do you have blanks then?
Exactly. Like, he was practicing. Why was it? I mean, even if you were going to be shooting in a couple of minutes, like, is it
possibly? Oh, no.
What?
Go ahead.
I just think it's just so funny to me. You've got, Alec Baldwin, who was very outspoken about politics in every respect, in every which fucking way, and very publicly anti-gun. So you would think that the man would bother to be fucking assiduous about gun safety when he's handed one. And bother to take time to say, like, hey, at any moment when there does not need to be anything in the chamber of this gun, maybe we should make sure this gun is completely fucking unloaded. Like, you would think that someone like him would want that to happen. I'm not saying he's to blame, because I do think it sucks where, like, I don't think he's entirely blameless, but I do think on the scale of blame, he ends up like pretty much the lowest, whereas he ends up suffering the most consequence. Where the action is. What
made me kind of think at first, I was like, I don't really think he's got a whole lot of blame. But the only thing to me now that has made me kind of go, well, dude, you're the producer. Your responsibility for
you're responsible for the safety.
Yeah.
And there's rumors that people were walking off set because it wasn't safe. He hired an armorer who was 24 years old.
What?
And I have a problem with that, and I don't want to sound rude. It's not about youth. It's about how much experience does she really have.
Yeah.
And for anybody who's wondering, I don't care if it's a female, and I'll tell you why. If you go over to Armed and Feminine's YouTube channel, if Kelly showed up on set to be an armorer, I would feel very safe. If Lena Michelik showed up, she's Jerry Michelik's daughter, one of the greatest competitive shooters of all time, and she's a competitive shooter. If she showed up, I'd feel just fine. But these two women know, and they have decades of experience, and they're the last person I would ever expect to even think that they could be too safe. They would be very, very, very serious.
But when you hear about something like this in Hollywood, you know, oh, young female is hired to be the head armorer or something. Like, okay, now this is an example of where literally a diversity hire killed somebody.
And this is the first time. The stunt woman on one of the Transformers movies wasn't as seasoned as they didn't want to have a guy drive for the woman, so they hired somebody
who
with
was
less
less
experience. And
experienced.
she either had an accident and killed somebody else or killed herself, or somebody else was paralyzed. And this isn't the first time. This is messed up.
And like it's not to say that any woman hired as an armor, like Sean said, there are plenty of competent women who could do this job, and it's not to say even a young person isn't in some ways capable. I do agree with Sean that like there's just a wisdom that comes from age and experience, you know, that you don't have when you're 24. I was 24 once. I didn't have it then, you know, that was only 6 years ago, and I wouldn't trust 24-year-old me to do certain things that I do now.
Oh God, neither would I. Like for me, at least. I mean. Yeah, I'd actually heard a story that this isn't the first time that there were problems on a set with this armorer, actually.
Yeah.
But Baldwin hired her anyway. Because at first I was like, well, Baldwin's an actor, and I didn't know he was the producer until a little bit later. Yeah. But him being the producer, yeah, he should have fucking checked. And somebody's dead because of this. Somebody has died. And this is the problem that it's like, you need to know what the fuck you're doing when you're dealing with guns. Period. You know, everyone wants to sit here and talk about people who are supportive of guns and like guns and use guns and own guns and how irresponsible we are for having as many guns as we do sometimes. It's like, yeah, but we know how to fucking use them, and we know how to be safe with them. You don't hear about us going out and shooting a bunch of people by accident or intentionally.
Exactly.
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous.
The way I look at it. So the way I look at it, we took sex education, right? And all the research, you can believe what you want, but all of the research demonstrates that educating developing children about sex is the best way to make sure that sexual encounters happen safely.
Right.
And because you have to accept that sex is a reality. People, children, humans, animals, creatures who are living and mammalian and have any desire, you know, to further on their gene pool when they come of age, want to fuck, and you can't stop them. And that's a reality. So we should probably, you know, educate them. It's the smartest way. Guns are part of our Constitution. You can dispute the semantics of what that actually means, but in some form or another, the right to own a firearm is in our Constitution. And unless that's amended, then guns are a reality of our culture. And you can't deny that or pretend it's gone because you don't want it there. If you don't want it there, then you need to go fucking try to take those steps through the avenues built into the goddamn Constitution. And otherwise, you know, you need to accept that because it is part of the founding tenets of our country, it is a reality. And therefore, it is asinine to not know anything about it, to be ignorant of this very, very important piece of our history as well. I mean, we learn about horses in school in history class because of how important they were to the development of civilization.
Yeah.
Why don't we learn as much about firearms? Why don't we have firearm safety classes, especially in areas where guns are incredibly still a part of the way of life? I mean, I could understand that, you know, not every kid in New York City needs a gun safety class, but hell, there are quite a few, like everybody in the state of Vermont does. So
I also want to go
people.
Yeah, I want to go to comment. JC says producer on paper or hands-on producer. Well, it's his fucking studio. It's like, it's apparently his company, his independent film company, from what I understand. So I would say very hands-on. and he ought to have known better. You know, I mean, but at the end of the day, we can sit here and argue about what, you know, what could have been done or what shouldn't have happened. So, you know, right now we have to wait for the facts to come out. And I also saw somebody say, you know, well, the press screws up, you know, they're morons, they'll screw up, you know, what the word misfire means. I think that's actually a legal definition, and it came from the police station.
Yeah,
It was
I am curious as to what that meant, though, because a misfire can be something as simple as you pull the trigger, it hits the firing pin, the firing pin hits the primer, and it doesn't go off.
Yeah.
So I would like more information around that.
Yeah,
real quick, let me just hit these couple of super chats that rolled in. Eric Kirby says Alec Baldwin's more worried about COVID than gun safety. True. Vicious Archer, thank you very much for the super sticker. It's a little sheepy. You know, how's it going? It's going great. Also, shameless self-plug moment. Make sure you guys tune in for the Matriarchy tomorrow. It is going to be awesome. Sweet Pea is going to be coming back for it, as well as Anna, Mandy, Mary, Kelly, the whole all-star lineup. We are launching the Indiegogo for my YouTube channel, or for my fencing club. I'm starting a fencing club. It's a thing. It's real. I'm starting a fencing club. It's happening. So that's exciting.
Extremely exciting. I'm so excited for you. Very excited for you. And I think that you know, are putting in a lot of effort, and I really pray and hope that it goes well for you. And I think it will. I really do. I'm not that scared of it's not going to work
out. What's the Indiegogo for? I'm sorry. I just got distracted.
Oh, I'm starting a fencing club.
Oh, that's right. No, I knew that. I just.
It's okay. It's late.
I had a brain FireFart.
Can
I show something real quick? Because I saw some questions in the chat. I kind of wanted to
show the thing.
Answer this. I got asked by the question, what's the second barrel for right here? And it's actually an extractor rod, and this is the housing for it. On a single action gun, when you want to get the spent casings out, you basically put the cylinder chamber in line with that, and then you push, and a little rod comes out to shoot out the brass casing.
Oh.
So that's what that's for. Someone was like, "Oh, it's black powder. It's to pack it down." I'm like, "No. That's a cap and ball revolver. That's entirely different." Yes. Okay. So I just wanted to share that. So.
Thank you, Sean.
Fencing is way more my style than guns. Fencing is awesome. Well, when we're through this topic, we can talk more about the fencing club if you want, and also anything horror and Halloween related.
Absolutely.
But yeah, did you still want to pull up the video, Sean?
Yeah, I wanted to, if I could, to just kind of, it's about 4 minutes or so, and it just shows me kind of how a squib load happens and how you deal with it. So how do I share my screen here?
Do you click the share button?
The share button down at your panel. But I both love swords and guns.
I do too.
I fucking love a sword. I'll tell you what. I do.
Swords are good. Tell you what, swords are great. I fucking love me some swords. I have several in the house now. I'm very excited. I used to not have enough. Hey, there we go.
All right. So there's my ugly face.
Oh,
so here, ugly.
Shush. Double Sean. Hey. We love it.
All right, here we go. Is it working?
Yeah.
I hear sound, but I don't see video.
I don't see the video.
I have actually prepared.
Let me try something here. Let me try. Okay. Trying this a different way. Yeah. There we go. Okay, starting that over.
I'm doing this to demonstrate the dangers of squib loads, and so I have actually prepared a squib load.
This is squib.
Is a revolver. This is a Ruger Super Redhawk chambered 24 Magnum. Now, to illustrate the difference between a normal round and a squib, I've got two normal loads. I'm going to fire those first, and then you're going to hear the squib. And then I'm going to illustrate how the barrel becomes black. If you were to fire the gun again before removing the obstruction, without causing serious danger to yourself, most likely the gun would explode because the barrel has been obstructed. The chances are very good you'd be very hurt, possibly killed. So this is a moment where I'm going to say, I'm a professional. do not ever attempt this at home. I know what you're doing. I've dealt with squib loads a lot. Please don't take any risks. It's not worth it. This is demonstration only.
I'm just like excited that I got to hear you say that. I don't know why. It's just like
I love that. No, I literally a spark
very
of
intense.
excitement just ran through my spine. And
the folks behind me were really going rapid fire, but
oh, they were. No, I was like, damn.
Kai makes an excellent point. Have we all forgotten that Alec Baldwin tried to kill Team America? I mean, technically it was. Yeah, no, he did try to kill them in the end. He did. That's fair.
Sorry for the flinch. Squib. You heard that little pop?
Squib.
That's a problem. So we extract all 3 cases. There's no bullet anymore. So where'd it go? Well, we're gonna take this little board brush rod, cleaning rod. As you can see, it's not going through. You see
Stuck in the
very
chamber.
carefully there, lighting's a little bad, but the bullet's right here at the front.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Oh my
That board's
God.
obstructed. If you were to then fire this gun again, it would be disastrous. There would be injury, possibly a fatality. Now to try and get this out.
That's how bitches lose fingers and shit.
So I'll show you how to take this out later. So back now from the range, as you recall, what we did is we illustrated what happens when you have no powder in your cartridge and you get a squib load and you get your bullet to your barrel, as can be seen here. Now, normally I would sit this on my desk and use a vise because these can be very difficult to get out. So I'm going to show you how to do it here in my kitchen because I have my light here so I can see better. But I have a metal rod that's been covered in electrical tape. This is so that it doesn't scratch the inside of my barrel. And essentially, I want to put it into the obstruction. You got to tap it with a hammer. And it can take quite a bit of force.
Dalu, by the way, you missed earlier. Sean
Yeah.
explained exactly how a squib load can then like get lodged and then fired. If you put a blanket behind it, it then basically fires that bullet out of the chamber.
Yeah, he's just showing us a demonstration, which is very interesting, by the way.
The rod passes all the way through the bore, so the obstruction has been removed.
Thank you for the super chat, 200 Watt Studio. That's why they do a pencil check in the barrel. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
got pencils on set.
Use again, but as I was saying earlier in the video, imagine what happened if this is lodged in the barrel and you then fire a blank. It's going to be like firing a full-on, full-power cartridge. And worse yet, if you're a target shooter like me, you didn't know this was lodged in the barrel, you fire another bullet, this is going to go kaboom, you're going to get hurt, possibly killed. This is why this is so dangerous and why you have to be so careful.
So, yeah.
I hope, I honestly just hope that was very instructful and helpful and instructive
Informative.
on how to stay safe.
Super instructful.
I think so too. I was very invested in what you were doing because I know that my dad dealt with a squib before, but he knew exactly how to handle it. So, you know, he never really went into detail about how he handled it, but that was a very good, instructive, informative video that I am so happy that I now have in my liked videos that I can go to if I ever have a problem with a fucking squib.
Yeah, I'm gonna upload it
to do it for me.
I'm going to upload that to my channel here in the next week or so because I want to put it up there for people and I want them to know, because this is one of those things too where especially reloaders like myself, you're sitting there, you're reloading, you think you put powder in every cartridge. This happens. And it can happen with factory ammo. The first time I encountered one, my brother was shooting. I have a revolver that's chambered in 500 JRH and 50 Action Express, which is the shirt I'm wearing, which is the round that the Desert Eagle fires. So it's very powerful. And I had a box of factory ammo, and he gets it up. The only good thing about shooting big handguns in this case, by the way, is when you have a squib load, because that huge recoil and loud boom doesn't happen, and something's wrong, and you know it.
Yeah.
But so, he fires once, he fires twice, click, and I was behind him, and it just clicked in my head. Squib load, because he's wearing his ear protection, so he couldn't hear me. And I came running up to him and I tapped him on the shoulder. I was like, stop. And he goes, I don't know what happened. And I said, I think it's a squib load. And he goes, what do you mean? And I kind of explained what it was. He goes, oh. So I went and I got like a cleaning rod from the guys on the range. And sure enough, this 300 grain hollow point slug lodged in the barrel and fortunately caught it. So nobody was hurt. We just dealt with it. I reached out to the manufacturer, which the funny thing is I'm pretty sure it was a bad primer that caused it. But yeah, it could have been really bad. But fortunately, because we were able to see it happen and I knew what it was, I was able to, because if he had pulled the hammer back and fired again, I mean, minimum, he would have had a lot of lacerations on his hand. Maximum, I could have been planning his funeral with his kids.
Oh God.
Scary.
So this is why, like I said, if someone says you're being too safe, get away from that person.
Yeah.
They're going to hurt somebody, possibly you, probably themselves.
Nope. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no, when you're dealing with guns, there should never be anybody out there saying you're being too safe or being too precautious or whatever.
I lay down the law in my fencing club, straight up. Number one ground rule. I'm actually really excited now that I'm going to be able to run my own operation because I have coached in many clubs throughout the country, some of which I have great respect for, but most of which whose safety standards fall below my own. Little things like training when you're in your whites and actually using the swords in just leggings instead of knickers. Knickers are designed to stop you from getting stabbed. Leggings are not. I have many shreds in my leggings to prove it because coaches are allowed to be irresponsible and get murdered. And just little things like that where I'm just like, and so I've had to justify, like, even to my own student who's like, how come they don't make us wear our underarm protector in practice? And I'm like, well, your odds of getting injured are less likely in practice because you're not fencing full tilt. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, but everyone fences full tilt in practice a lot of the time. And I'm like, so you should be fully protected. And which is why when we do my club, all of the rules, including my favorite one, which is the one law, the one unbreakable law, which is that you do not ever point your weapon at somebody who's not wearing a mask. Yeah. Because we may not have the same lethality, and really even with bad mistakes and accidents, people don't usually die in fencing anymore. But someone could lose an eye, someone could be permanently disfigured. We've had run-throughs. They had to change not that long ago. They had to change the safety standards on our gloves because 2 different people over the course of one summer nationals had their hands run through by unbroken saber blades through their gloves. Yeah, one was a friend of mine. Actually, both were friends of mine's. And then in another kid that same, it was a broken blade on that one, got an in and out wound through his leg. That was gnarly. I was supposed to referee the gold medal bout that he would have fenced in, but he had to withdraw. Darn. Yeah. So, that's my law. And it's like, it's kind of, if you break that law, there's no sympathy because what you've done is demonstrated that the safety of the people around you is not important enough for you to follow one very, very simple rule. Yeah. In guns, it's akin to, you don't ever point the barrel at anybody that you don't intend to destroy. And it's that idea. It's that same, even if the consequences are less severe, the intention behind it is exactly the same, which is that if you break that rule, what you've demonstrated is that you don't care enough about the safety of people around you to be able to handle a deadly weapon. And I have no patience for that, even when it comes to, I got really upset with one of my teachers because it was a stage combat class in college, and we were using practice foils and practice sabers, and our practice foils had the rubber tips on them and the sabers don't. And he was explaining to the class how much safer the sabers were than the foils because the foils are square blades and so the edges were a little sharper. And I was just like, No, I walked out on the class at one point and I had a whole conference. I lectured him afterwards and I was like, you don't understand. You can take this foil, you can smack somebody with it. Sure, it'll hurt the same amount as the saber would. You can ram somebody with it all day long, and that rubber tip ain't going through somebody. Well, what if the rubber tip pops off? The rubber tip pops off, the tip is flattened. It is flattened, is a larger surface area still than the curved tip of the saber. The tip of the saber is folded over. And the blade is still more bendy in every direction. So when you try to attack somebody with it, it is going to flex no matter what. You take a saber, all you have to do is point the guard down and shove it forwards, and that saber, unbroken, can go straight through somebody.
It seems like ego at the end of the day, right? You know, ego's just getting in the way of people's safety because they think they're fucking right.
Yeah, and he tried to tell me, well, it's your ego because you're a saber fencer. And I'm like, no, it's my fucking intelligence because I've taught this as an actual sport for a decade now. Actually, at that point, it was less than that. Now
it's been a decade. Yeah, like you ought to know fucking better. You ought to know better. You don't toy with people's lives or the fact that you could severely hurt them or maim them or completely permanently ruin their bodies in some way. Like you can't.
Accidents happen so easily, and even when ways you don't expect. I'll share an accident that happened to me while shooting a video, and this is a perfect example of, I thought I had everything right. I had made sure I had followed my own rules, and even then something went wrong. And fortunately for me, because I follow the 4 safety rules, when things go wrong, it's not that bad. It still sucks, but it's not that bad. So what had happened was I was doing a video where, and I'm going to be shooting one of these here in the next couple of weeks, where it's around, holiday time. So I blast pumpkins because it's fun. And I had a double barrel 12 gauge shotgun, and I walked up close to it and I wanted to shoot both barrels into the pumpkin. I had tested it on hip shot by holding the stock under my arm and then getting close to it. And it's just pumpkin. It's not going to hurt me. I'm not worried about the seeds. And then you pull both triggers at the same time. It's just if you put that on your shoulder, you're literally getting 2 12-gauge shotguns kicking you at the same time.
Oh, God. Ow. I felt that. I feel like I've dislocated my shoulder now. Thanks, Sean.
I have done it. It isn't fun. You do that once, and then you go, good, I don't need to do that for another 2 years.
Shit.
With birdshot, it's not bad. When you do it with buckshot, it really sucks. But so I had buckshot in there so that I could blast a pumpkin and make a nice fun effect. Well, I had tried it with the buckshot before. I didn't have a problem. I went up and I thought I had it held tight. And when I pulled the trigger, the gun came back a little more than I thought. And I didn't realize that the release latch that would break the shotgun open to remove the shells has a little sharp nub on it.
Oh, jeez.
And it came back and it hit me right here.
Oh.
And it punctured my hand, not all the way through, but it hit. And I was just like, wow, that kind of hurt. And then I looked down at my hand and it's covered in blood. And I'm like, oh, shoot. And so I immediately, of course, being smart, put the gun down and I got a hand towel because I always bring rags and stuff because you're going to need it. So I'm sitting there for a few minutes and I'm like, okay, I got to stay calm. I got to get the bleeding to stop. And then I may have to leave everything here and come back later because I got to make sure I get to the... So I gave it about 2 or 3 minutes and I just chilled and I looked at my hand and the bleeding had slowed to a very slow trickle. So I just basically wrapped up my hand, threw everything in the trunk, got in the car, and I called Ashley on my way home and I was like, hey, so I need you to take me to urgent care. It's not an emergency, but I had this bit of an issue and I kind of explained what happened. And I was like, I'm not bleeding bad. I'm okay. But I probably need stitches. Then the real horror began, which is when I got there, they're like, oh, we don't stitch a puncture wound. No. We want to leave them open because you don't want them to get infected. And I was like,
what?
Yeah, why would you do that? And they're like, now we do need to clean it out by flushing the wound.
This is correct procedure for a puncture wound, by the way. But
they soaked my hand in iodine for a few minutes, and then the guy took one of those little plastic syringes that doesn't have the needle, and he sucked up a bunch of that iodine, pulled my hand out, stuck it in the puncture, and then squirted as fast as he could.
Oh my God. Oh, I'm hurting bad. I'm hurting bad right now.
That hurt more than the injury.
Dude,
He did it twice.
You fucking Novocaine first? Jesus.
No, I got no
Fucking
painkiller.
knock
Okay,
my
that's
ass.
not cool. They should have like stuck you with some Novocaine
You know
there.
what
or
I
some
said?
shit
I said, you know
first.
what, dude? I'm getting the fuck out of here. You're just gonna hurt me worse than my gun hurt me. I'm
My
out.
brother got
Bye.
a bike handle through his thigh once, needed a buttload of stitches. They fucking numbed up his whole leg. He got like more needles of Novocaine than like stitches.
God.
Yeah, no, they didn't give me nothing. They're just like, here you go. And
oh god, I'm gonna have
I love
nightmares
Watt
about
Studios' recent. I'm sorry,
Well, yeah,
I did answer him in the chat, which is the pencil in there is to look for an obstruction.
Mhm.
But he
I
just
would
made a joke. He's like, Sean brings rags, I'd bring Mahler. But I'm
Oh my gosh.
I would
Okay.
think. I would also think that, especially ever since Brandon Lee, that people would be assiduous about the pencil test.
Well, I think so because I
so
don't think
scary.
it happens as often as, I don't think I think those types of injuries do not happen often because of the Brandon Lee incident. Of course, I could be wrong, but I don't know. Also, before we move on, where did they go? I saw them. I seen them.
Also, there's a super sticker
Okay.
from Andy McCallum, by the way.
Oh, Andy.
He says, "Mood."
Okay, so INDIEGOGO. He goes, I claim no relation to BabyOutlaw. You're the third outlaw I have found in a stream this week.
Oh my god,
It might be fitting to have a showdown.
I don't know.
Who's
I
going to
think
be the top outlaw of this?
Is there enough room in this town for the both of us?
Not in my town.
Well, I don't know, man.
By the way, can I share one quick safety rule for people? Because I saw someone making a joke about, just look down the barrel. There is a safe way to look down the barrel of a gun. Let me show you how you do it. This is really easy. You take your gun, you disassemble it, and you remove the barrel. Now you can look down the barrel because it's not in the gun.
Yeah.
That's how you do that. If you think you got an obstruction and you want to look down the barrel, take the gun apart, then do it. And there is a luckiest man in the world award type of gun fail on YouTube if you look for this, where a guy is out shooting his shotgun and he has what's called a hang fire. So he goes to pull the trigger and it doesn't go off. And so he literally puts the shotgun down on the ground and looks down the barrel. Now, what a hang fire is basically the primer ignited part of the powder, but it didn't fully ignite yet. And it's called a hang fire because after a second or so, it catches, boom! And so as he's looking down the barrel, just as he pulls it away from his face, it goes off, takes his hat off his head.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ.
Close
He almost
call.
Kurt Cobained himself.
Yes, and I remember when I saw that, I showed it to Ashley and I said, I want to show you the luckiest son of a bitch alive.
Oh my God.
Because he should be dead.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, Jesus.
Freaking-
Flaming TP, thank you for the tree fitty. Thank you for the tree fitty.
Well, we
Flaming
don't,
TP!
we don't do tree 50
Miss
here.
you,
That's
bro.
on Mary's channel. We're not taking that. She has claimed a little bit of ownership over that.
Flaming TP's been giving me tree fitty for years, so Mary can suck a dick.
Okay. Freaking Greg Kirby goes, a moo down? Are you calling me
Also,
fat, Greg
Mary
Kirby?
can't claim tree fitty. She didn't fucking invent that shit.
I was fucking kidding.
Fucking Mary. There's some words of Mary tomorrow. Fucking trying to.
I don't think she actually tried to claim it. She just, I'm just like,
just
oh my
saying.
God, no, I'm gonna get so
Fucking
many
saying.
people fucking trouble.
You want a showdown? Well, you got yourself one, baby. Hello.
Wait, who
Oh,
tried
I'm
to
gonna
claim
have
what
to
now?
Affiliate a showdown.
Tree fitty.
Tree 50. If you've ever been to Mary Mayhem's channel, she does a stream. She does a stream on Wednesdays, and she does a stream on, at least on YouTube, she does stream on Wednesdays, and then on Saturdays, which is shenanigans. So whenever that happens, people will send a super chat, and it'll be 350. And so she literally has the clip from South Park, queued to play anytime somebody sends her tree 50. So that's where that came from. And
That's
I'm
awesome.
not, Mary, if you're out there, I am so sorry. I did not mean to throw you under the bus.
Fuck you, Mary.
No, that's awesome. I want to actually, I wish I could have this on my channel. Every time somebody makes a complaint, I could put up this little GIF of Abe Simpson going, "Oh, bitch, bitch, bitch."
Please.
I need to have
You
more
have-
buttons. I don't have any good buttons. Do you want to see what my buttons are?
Yeah, I don't see buttons. I think I know.
Oh, God.
Yeah. The other ones are just all more orgasms.
Oh my God. Greg Kirby, are you calling me fat?
I was busy.
You know, if I sent Jeff something that I was like, dude, you have to show this to Dion, and it's that song, you know, fuck this shit, I'm out. But it's this guy who's in a library and he's like looking through and he sees like there's somebody in the other book aisle and someone else is in front of them on their knees. And the guy like goes around and looks like this, and the guy standing turns around and he's got the horse head on.
Ha!
And then, of course, the song starts in, fuck this shit, I'm out. I was like, dude, you got to show that to Dion.
Yes, show it to Dion, the horse head. I thought the horse head thing, that mask, I thought that trend had
Dion's
died.
coming to visit in a couple of weeks.
Oh
We'll have to bring him, find horses for him. That's what I
Put a horse head in his bed.
Oh, he doesn't like horses,
seriously.
does he?
He's terrified of them. It's hilarious.
You gotta do the Godfather thing.
Yes.
Oh God, yeah. Oh my God, that would be great. We definitely should do that. All right, I'm gonna play some sounds for us guys. Why is it always this? It's supposed to be on shuffle, bro. I don't want the same.
Ooh, we're about to get into the spooky thing.
Oh yes, Forest of Witch Castle. This track is titled Forest of Witch Castle, but it's spelled Forest with 2 R's. So just imagine a dude named Forrest who hangs out at a place called Witch Castle.
Life is like a box of chocolates. He's just hanging out, Forrest Gump. You see him peek out the fucking window of the castle.
Witch Castle.
Do you want some chocolate?
There you go.
Oh God.
So yeah, you guys will get some little background of here. Let me adjust how I'm doing my volumes here real quick.
Greg Kirby, no, Jeff is not scared of horses. Dion is scared of horses, which is crazy, but I love horses, and so I'm insulted. I'm personally offended.
Jesse's a horse fan.
Oh God,
I used to
Jesse.
own a horse.
She did. Oh my goodness, Mr. Rocky.
My pony.
Beautiful
all the time. So now that I put on Halloween music, we gotta talk about Halloween stuff. Don't play the fart track again. Yeah, one of the tracks on this playlist is creaking doors or something.
It sounded like that's what I thought was going. I was like, who has gas? Because I wasn't paying attention. I was like folding laundry. I was like, what the fuck is happening? Is it the cat? Does he have a condition now?
Actually, what I should do is pause it on there and play it over here.
Would you guys excuse me for just a moment?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put my guns away and get a beer. I just want the guns away before I get the beer.
All right, go get the beer, man.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh my goodness. No, yeah, I was hearing that shit and I was like, who's Shat is what I was thinking. And I looked down and like I thought you were like playing with the cat at the time, and I thought, is it the cat? What is a noise? It's just so fucking weird. But it was great.
I love it. Okay.
Sean
Here we
needs
go.
to fart away from
my favorite one was my favorite track earlier was the torture track. So.
Oh God, Buffalo Jeff, hard at work.
Yeah.
Hard at work.
Hard at work. Here we go. Now I got it on my phone so you can hear it better.
Yeah.
How does that? Do we have a good ambiance?
I think we have a good ambiance. Of course, I'm half dead right now, so I'll say anything.
So, Sweepy, do you have any Halloween must-watches? Are there any like go-tos that every October you got to do them?
Every October, I mean, obviously Halloween would be the obvious choice, right? You know, to watch. But what I do enjoy watching for October, I love to watch a lot of like horror movies that I haven't seen in years. Like I don't know what it is. It just sort of like comes into like a brief moment of where I'm just like, oh yeah, I haven't fucking seen that movie in like, I don't know, 10 goddamn years. So I'll find it and I'll watch it and then kind of regret watching it because, well, there's probably a reason why I didn't watch this in 10 years because it scared the piss out of me. And now I'm not going to be able to go to sleep tonight and I'll sleep with the light on like a big chicken shit. So, if I were to go to, Halloween favorites of mine. I love to watch The Descent. I love to watch Dog Soldiers. I always have to watch Halloween 4 and 5. Those are the ones that introduced me to the Halloween franchise. So sue me. If everyone else there everyone in the chat wants to sit here and call me out on my poor taste in horror movies, and be my guest because I don't care.
Wow, I threw my phone. Taxi Mama says, me and Sean are seeing Halloween 1978 this weekend, as in like in a theater. Sean, Doxy Mama says you guys are seeing Halloween this weekend, as in like in a theater.
Yes.
Nice.
Oh,
I'm real excited because I'll be honest, I've never seen it all the way through.
Ooh, I had my first viewing all the way through last year with Jeff.
Gotcha. I know he's a big fan.
It's one of his favorites.
I'll admit, I'm very particular about horror movies.
Yeah.
I want something that actually is scary and not just gore.
Reasonable.
Or jump scares.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hard to find these days. But I'll give you a movie you could watch. It's a mockumentary style movie. It's an Australian film called Lake Mungo. It is probably one of the scariest fucking movies I have ever seen in my life. And it's a very thoughtful horror film, I would say. And it's about a family that is being, supposedly documented by a film crew about the sort of what happened to their daughter who drowned in a large body of water. And as the story unfolds, there's a lot of twists and turns that you take, and it's got a lot of really crazy revelations in it.
What's it called again?
Lake Mungo.
Is that M-O-N-G-O?
M-U-N-G-O, I think.
M-U-N-G-O, yeah. It's
All right, I'm going to check that out.
I keep hearing about it. I need to check it out, too.
It fucking scared the piss out of me because there's no jump scares in it except for one. But the crazy thing about it is almost like the anti-jump scare because you see it coming toward you. You see it in the distance on this really crappy phone that they eventually come across, which is supposed to be the phone.
Don't tell me anymore. Don't tell me anymore.
Sorry. Okay.
Don't tell me anymore.
I won't tell you anymore. But all I know is that when you finally see what the fuck it is,
don't tell me anymore. Don't tell me anymore. Don't tell me anymore. Sorry, I just like to be surprised by
what am I hearing?
By a lot of these things.
Oh, that's her creepy.
Because you've already had me convinced.
Yeah.
You already have me convinced that I want to do it.
But the stills in those movies, the photographs you see, because they start believing that they're being haunted by the ghost of their late daughter. And the fucking stills.
Stop telling me things about it. Oh my God.
Sorry. Stop telling Sean.
You're that spoilers girl. You're telling
me.
Well,
I'm sold. I'll tell you that.
Okay.
That's because I want to watch it now, so I don't want you to tell me anymore about it because I want to watch it.
I'll stop.
Have you guys seen?
You've already seen.
And I do want to bet Jesse's seen this because I know Jeff's a fan.
Okay.
This is one of my. I still think this is the best of John Carpenter, and it's one of the best horror movies because it's a psychological horror, and that's The Thing.
Oh God, that's absolutely his best.
My friend Hadash showed that to me for the first time a couple years ago.
Love that movie.
Yeah, we're gonna watch it on 4K this year.
I love The Thing, the music, the atmosphere, the acting, the chemistry between all the actors. You just don't get that real chemistry between actors anymore, hardly. I don't know if anybody's noticed that, or at least you guys. There's not that real chemistry, and I feel like the last film that really captured chemistry, and it was a horror film, was The Descent by Neil Marshall, I believe is his name. He did Dog Soldiers. If anybody's ever seen that, that's a werewolf English horror film. It's really balls to the walls fun. It's a great watch. I recommend it to anybody. But The Descent is where it's an all-female cast, and they go into the, they're like adrenaline junkies. They're kind of expeditionists. They like to climb mountains, raft white water, go spelunking and stuff. And so they end up going to this cave, and they're like friends. They've been friends for a long time, and you really feel the fucking chemistry between the actresses. Yeah. And there's not really any real big name actresses in the cast, at least not in America, because there's a lot of European hires, because Neil Marshall is, European. I think he's from the UK. But the chemistry between all those girls is absolutely phenomenal. And it's a great watch if you want to be fucking freaked out by claustrophobia and then cave monsters.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the crazy
Rogers Vandoms, thank you so much for the super chat. Watching X-Files with no lights on. We have Don La Maison. I hope the Smoking Man's in this one.
I love the X-Files. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care how cheesy it is. I love the X-Files
too.
And Baby Outlaw, your picture actually right now totally is like vibing for like Dana Scully.
You know, I just looked at it and I kind of do look a little like Dana Scully. I actually really love X-Files, but I'll do you one better, Sean. I have a guilty pleasure. I like to watch some dopey ass teenage shows from the fucking early 2000s, and one of them is called Roswell. It's literally the stupidest shit I've ever seen.
And my brother used to like that show.
Fucking watch it all the time. But it's about aliens and conspiracies and stuff. It's like the low rent version of the X-Files, except we follow the aliens and they're disguised as teenagers or whatever, and it's all about their hopelessly, drawn out, stupid romances, and I love it. Oh my God, Doxy Mama knows what I'm talking about. I fucking love that show. I love that show.
We still watch The Thing.
By the way, what am I hearing? Is someone got like a video in the background or?
Oh, I'm playing spooky Halloween sounds.
Oh, cool. Okay, I just wanted to know what I was hearing.
Yeah. Spooky Halloween sounds.
But okay, so I have something funny to share on an X-Files thing. This is just if anybody wants to find me out on the internet in a random place, and I will admit I'm not there a lot anymore, but because I play guitar, there is a pickup company called Seymour Duncan. And they have a user group forum on Seymour Duncan's website. And my screen name is Explorers Rock. And the reason why this is relevant is my picture is of a duck with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth.
I fucking love that.
And so I kind of got known as the guy who had the cigarette smoking duck. And so the moderators will occasionally put like a nickname under your actual name, and so under mine, they have these mini humbuckers called duck buckers from Seymour Duncan. So my gloss, as they call it, is X-Files duck bucker. And so I changed it so it reads that my location. I said in my duck pond with a pack of Morleys, because that was the cigarettes he smoked, not Marleys, Morleys.
Morleys. Oh my God. I have to. Somebody in the chat said, I guess they were discussing what their favorite horror movies were.
Yes, it's the fart track. It's a collection of creaks. It's a collection of creaks.
Yeah.
Like farting.
Speaking.
Andy, you willed it into existence.
he intentionally. Oh my God. He intentionally did that. Thank you, Andy. You knew what you were doing. Do not sit there and try to play innocent, sir.
He came up randomly. He just willed it into existence. This is purely random.
Purely random.
Oh,
serious.
Sure.
Jeff.
Okay.
Jeff, did you send that "fuck this shit I'm out" video that I sent you to Dion?
Oh, I need to.
Oh my God! Jeff's got his fucking. My brother and my dad do that. They fucking like hide their face in their shirt. Oh my gosh. Has anyone ever seen Pumpkinhead?
No, but I want to actually.
It's actually, I can't even talk.
This is for Andy. For you. Andy,
is Greg Kirby having a stroke?
Beans,
he
good
might
for the heart.
He's just pointing out all the obvious horror movies that are obviously good that everyone likes.
You gonna make it?
No.
I didn't think so.
Oh my God, no! But Pumpkinhead, I love Lance Henriksen in that role. I love that movie. It's a lot more touching and really dark than you would think it would be for a movie called Pumpkinhead. But I would definitely recommend it to anybody. It's kind of like one of the more underrated horror movie classics from the tail end of the 80s. You've seen Pumpkinhead?
Yeah,
I love Pumpkinhead. The freaking that demon that Ed Holly summons to exact revenge on what happened to his son. The freaking costume for that thing is brilliant. Like the design and everything, I think is absolutely just incredible. The attention to detail. It looks so creepy. I remember I thought that is like aesthetically pleasing to me in the most demented way possible, and I dig it. I dug it so well. It's like I just miss the practical effects, y'all. I really do.
Same.
I really fucking do.
Greg Kirby has a lot of horror movies that he likes.
Yeah, and they're all obvious choices. Pick something that's
Body bags
Benson
isn't an
Spector.
obvious choice. That's a
Oh,
good
there you
one.
go.
Have you guys seen The House on Haunted Hill? It had like Jeffrey Rush and Chris Kattan and
Like the
Famke
old
Janssen.
one? Yeah, that's like,
No,
oh my
I have
gosh,
not seen
wait.
that one.
I've seen.
We had that on not too long ago.
Oh,
I have seen the remake, and I didn't. I don't know. Just the way that the special effects were done, that creeped me the fuck out. I was like, ugh.
The old one, The House on High Hill with Vincent.
I need to
I was
see
about
the
to say
old one
Vincent
because
Van
I love
Gogh.
Vincent Price. I think he's awesome. So
Vincent Price. Oh my gosh, the old one's really good. Like I enjoyed it. I watched it the other day with my dad, and we just had a blast. Oh, another Halloween go-to for me is Jeepers Creepers.
Event Horizon.
Ooh,
What's
Event
the
Horizon's
movie?
great.
Event Horizon?
Yeah.
It's too fucked up.
I've got to show Jeff Funny Games this year. I'm a big fan of that one.
Funny Games?
Yeah.
I gotta check that out.
That's, what do you say?
By the way, you guys have seen Hellraiser, right?
Oh god, I'm a huge fan of Hellraiser. I fucking love
yeah.
that fucking movie.
I
gotta
gotta say something, and you'll never be able to look at Event Horizon again. Think about it. It's Hellraiser in space.
I mean, basically, yeah, it's body horror. I'll probably never look at Event Horizon the same way again anyway. Like, oh my god. Yeah, you're right. It is Hellraiser in space.
Yeah. It's
Do
by the way,
they
Jesse, you
hire
said was
Clive
Funny
Barker?
Games?
Funny Games, yeah. I watched the American version, but he originally he made it in German, but he made a shot-for-shot remake in American.
Oh, das ist gut, ja.
Das ist gut, ja.
It's
Oh my gosh.
it's like, I don't know, how would you describe it? It's like a deconstruction of a slasher film that still satisfies you the way a horror movie would, but like on a deeper level too, while also like kind of making you wonder why you like it because it's so fucked up in a way. And that's kind of what I love about it. Like, it's very psychological, but also very, it's like, it doesn't lose any of the brutality in its intellectualism, if that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Does that make sense? Okay.
Absolutely makes sense.
There you go. That's how I put it. It deconstructs the slasher film.
Really, it's more like a home invasion movie, isn't it?
Without, but it's, yeah, that's how I'd say. Deconstructs the slasher film, but its intellectualism does not take away from its brutality.
It's a smart slasher.
But it's like, it isn't one though, because it really does deconstruct. Like, it breaks all the rules and the tropes and like very on purpose, but then it still manages to satisfy you in all the ways that a
slasher would.
It's actually, the best way I can describe it is it's an absurdist horror film. Like, if you know Theater of the Absurd, it follows all the tenets of Theater of the Absurd while also being in a horror, like a classic horror genre. So that's why I love it too, because it's just Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead, the murder version.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
And I fucking love Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead, and also Funny Games.
That's a good one. Oh my gosh, no, I saw Funny Games. I think I was a bit too young to see it, and so it's left a permanent scar on me, and I don't ever want to watch it again.
I was at the exact right age, so like, or maybe I was just the same age and more twisted than you were, because it hit me on that level, but I was so into it. Like,
right.
There are things about that movie, like it's deconstructing the genre. The music it chooses for the only very few bits that there are music, it is a like weird screamy metal shit. I looked into this band. This band is a parody horror band. Like, it was purposely chosen because the band is doing to metal what this movie is doing to horror.
I love that.
So it's like a weird metal level of this. Like, this guy really thought through. Like, I appreciate that, because I think, like, I don't know, a lot of intellectualism gets a really bad rap because it's stuffy and boring and pretentious. But I also think that a lot of what's stuffy and boring and pretentious is really pseudo-intellectualism, and really, really clever, smart people actually have a lot of fun, building these tropes and building these layers and juxtapositions and like, pretend smart people are like Rian Johnson, who make The Last Jedi and think they're fucking clever. Yeah. But like, really smart people build something that's clever and takes you on twists and turns, but is still satisfying, Right.
I absolutely feel like people should aim for that, trying to be a bit more, I wouldn't say deconstruct something, but I would say be a little bit more thoughtful with what you're doing.
See, I actually think it really depends. And I think it's like if you nice avatar, Sean.
I love your avatar.
You opened the box. We came. Now you must come with us. Taste our pleasures.
We have such sights to show you.
Oh God, that's so creepy when he says that. Oh, I love it. Doug Bradley had such gravitas in that role.
He was having fun. You've met Doug Bradley?
Yeah.
What was that like?
Cool?
Do tell.
No, he's not cool.
He's an ass.
Aw.
No, he does not like to be at these things.
Oh, that's
What a fucking asshole! Like,
not like it made his career or anything. Jeez.
Now, Kane Hodder, who plays Jason's the nicest fucking dude in the world. He now just donates all his money to charity.
Whoa.
Everybody's his buddy. He'll talk to you for free. He'll hang out with you in the parking lot, but he's the #1 celebrity when he's there. So, like, I don't get it. Like, to scale, they're like the same level of like famous.
Yeah.
But like
Robert Englund was a dick too.
Yeah, but yeah, he's just he thinks he's so.
Who's a dick?
Robert Englund. Freddy Krueger.
Wow.
You know what's really interesting is a lot of people will tell you that Dave Mustaine from Megadeth is a dick.
I actually heard he's really nice.
Yeah, to the fans, he's really nice. I walked up to him and I met him at NAMM and he signed an autographs, and I'm sure everybody's saying this shit, but I stuck out my hand and I said, "It's a real honor to meet you. I've always just been so, blown away by your music." And he actually looks at me and he goes, "Well, thank you. I really appreciate it. That means a lot."
Aww.
And I'm just like, wow, that was honestly, most of the metal guys you meet, they're
the
really
nicest
chill.
fucking people.
I've always heard
I've
that.
met so many nice guys. You think they'd be the meanest fuckers? They got that long hair, beard, that intense wolfish look in their eyes, and then you come up to them, they're just like, "Hi, how are you?" Completely changes your whole perspective. Instead of being a violent, scary, dangerous person, they become a sweet dog.
Dude, I went to a
a
metal fest at Toad's Place in New Haven when I was 16, 15, I don't know. And it was like the gnarliest concert. The headliners were Hatebreed, which my cousin used to my cousin was their drummer back before they got big.
Oh, nice. I just saw them.
So no shit. So so he took me backstage to meet them and all that when we were there. And it was them and God Forbid was the other headliner, and their lead singer is this big black dude, and their slogan is metal as fuck, and his dreads are metal as fuck, and they were fucking awesome. I think they were the ones I crowd surfed to.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I like crowd surfed for the first time. My first mosh pit at this concert. I was like it was just like adopted by all of these random strangers who decided that like, oh, it's the girl who wants to go hardcore in the metal concert, so we must make sure that like she has fun, but we protect her and she doesn't die. And I was like, oh man, metal people are so cool. Yeah. It was great. I had to like convince them to let me into the pit because it was like at first it was like any girl that got tossed into the like mosh pit, they would just pull out. And I was like, no, you had to make it clear that you wanted to be there. And they're like, oh, okay, that's fine. Now you can be here.
Well, and my experience with even the mosh pits in metal is they want you to have a good time. They don't want you to get hurt.
Exactly.
And I remember pointing it out to Ashley the first time I took her to a metal concert. We went to see Megadeth, and I showed her this because somebody at the edge of the mosh pit got knocked on his ass. And I nudged her and I said, "Watch this." And two people stopped and helped him back up. "You okay? You all right?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm good." So he gets back in. And the metal community to me is just awesome. I love the metal community.
The fucking concert etiquette is way better than if you've gone. Like, I love My Chemical Romance. They're one of my favorite bands of all time, and I've seen them 3 times in concert. I will see them when they finally can do their reunion tour. They postponed.
My sister has tickets for that concert. She's been waiting forever. She can't get a refund back for some reason.
Yeah, because they haven't released them because it's just postponed basically. Yeah. So she'll have to wait until they release them next year around the date, and then she can probably get a refund. But yeah, no, I'm still hanging on to them. My friends actually, they're under his name, but we're still hanging on to them because we're just gonna go. Yeah. But anywho, I love them. I love seeing them live. I fucking hate all their other fans. I can't stand their fans.
Their fans are absolutely the most creepiest people. Save for you.
Etiquette. No, there's fucking no etiquette though. Like there's concert etiquette. It's like if it's. There's mobility in a mosh pit usually. Oh, you guys want to go stand up at the front? Great. There's ways for you to get up to the front, right? Oh, you're the biggest, tallest fucking guy. You're not going to stand on the front rail the entire fucking time and elbow everyone else out of your way like a douchebag because you think you deserve 8 feet of legroom around you because you're the big guy. Well, that's like what? They do, but what you always get actually, it's guys like your size who are like protecting some little chick who are like want to be up in the front fucking row and create a bubble around her. It's like, bitch, I don't give a shit how much she creams her panties over Gerard Way. I bet you I had thought of way more fucked up things to do to that man, and I will stand up front if I goddamn well please. Fuck off, because I will take you and your giant ass boyfriend. I don't give a shit.
Most dick fans I've ever encountered are Jimmy Eat World fans.
Jimmy, I forgot all about Jimmy Eat World.
Fucking emo fans are the fucking worst.
Yeah, like she was a scene kid, but she's not a jerk. So, but yeah, no, she'll tell me like some of these people are just straight assholes. Like they're just assholes. Like she and they found more concert etiquette at a Rob Zombie event than they did. Like I'm not kidding. Yeah, like my sister and she went with a friend to a Rob Zombie concert. And they were like standing because there's no seating. It was outdoors or whatever. And they were standing and it got kind of crazy up front ahead of him. And there's this big guy who just stood in front of him and protected them the whole time. So it's like, yeah, it's good for people to be looking out for each other because you hear the stories of how people will get trampled and killed. I mean, that happened at a David Cassidy concert. I think that happened. I don't know.
Smashing Pumpkins in the 90s.
Smashing Pumpkins in the 90s that happened. It's like you got to be careful because people get so overwhelmed by stardom. You know, it's just insane how people will just sort of lose all inhibition or like really, you know, an awareness, spatial awareness, just for some person who sings them a song.
Why would you invoke this? Why?
Jesse Dementia.
Jeff, do you know what Flaming TP said? What? Jesse Dementia, Darkness, Raven Way.
Is that a fucking callback to My Immortal?
My Immortal.
I'm
Alejandro Cervantes is all over this now.
Oh
my God.
I am never gonna hear the end of fucking My Immortal. I will never hear.
You know what My Immortal is, right?
Me? Yeah, I know what it is. I've never read it.
Neither have I, but I've had people read it to me. It's absolutely. I don't know. Do you think it was genuinely done or if it was like a troll? Because I feel like it was genuinely done.
It was genuinely done. No, this is.
Oh my God.
No, it was never. It wasn't. It was an unfinished thing. Yeah, it was definitely not finished. Like, what I mean, like the. What I mean, like, yeah, like there was the original one that was put out that was not finished. That is, yeah, I don't know. I've never read past that. Oh yeah, we did. So,
yeah.
Oh dear God.
Are you guys at all into the horror genre on YouTube where the people like read scary stories?
Yep. Yeah, I am. Depends
I fucking love that shit. I'll admit, my favorite YouTuber in this regard is Lazy Masquerade.
We watch him. It's the British guy.
I love that guy.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm so glad nobody said freaking what's his face.
This week, Buffalo Jeff's going to do one of those.
Please.
Nice.
Runs with Phantom says German World War II movie worth checking out. Der Hauptmann, the captain. It's fucked up but funny in spots. German World War II movie.
Nice.
Guys, just test this out. I'm pretty sure you can still say swear words, so you can just, you don't have to censor yourselves anymore. But thank you, Runs with Phantoms. Let me take a screenshot, actually, of the title. So,
Der Hauptmann.
Der Hauptmann.
Also, just if anybody else is into like that horror genre, if I can just name a couple other YouTubers that I love listening to. So there's Lazy Masquerade, B Busta, Mortis Media, Swamp Dweller, who's really cool.
I love Swamp Dweller.
I love Swamp Dweller. And also Darkness Prevails. That guy's got like the greatest narration voice.
Have you ever
watched
Mr. Nightmare?
Yes.
Oh, God, I love Mr.
Do you
Nightmare.
remember when he fucked up his channel by mistake? He changed his name to Mr. N and he freaked out and thought his YouTube career was over. I couldn't stop laughing because he put out a video. He's like, well, fuck, I'm done.
He's like, what have I done? Yeah, no, I remember exactly what you're talking about.
That's hilarious.
That is hilarious. I'm glad nobody here said Corpse Husband because I'm sick to fucking death of hearing about him.
Is this
all he does now is like
Das Boot, a World War II movie about a German U-boat crew?
Seriously, you didn't know that?
I didn't know that's a movie.
The submarine.
I gotta share something funny, and
Jones is on. That's like the real.
I didn't know that.
I just want to share this because I really believe in having a sense of humor in life, and people get so sensitive about shit that could be fucking offensive. Now, I know I've told you this before, Jesse. I'm a Christian.
How dare you?
I am a faithful person. I went to this concert. It was Hatebreed, Lamb of God, Trivium, and Megadeth was headlining. and some guy walks in through the front door of the what do you call it, the venue, and he's wearing a kilt and a cutoff shirt that's black, and like no sleeves, and on the back, forgive me everybody, it says Jesus Christ is a see you next Tuesday. And I looked at this as a Christian, and this was my response. I went, I laughed. I was just like, well, this is really appropriate for a metal concert. And I nudge Ashley, and she's like, wow. She goes, well, that's over the top. I was like, yeah, well, if you're gonna go for the gold.
That makes my joke that I like about Jesus seem so benign. That Jesus is coming, look busy. Every time that makes me laugh, but I like.
I had a shirt growing up that was funny. It was funniest to fencers, but everyone found amusement of it, but they just didn't understand it. It said, Jesus is my strip coach, which in fencing, your strip coach is the person who stands on the strip with you and is coaching you through the bouts, like who may not be. It's like basically saying Jesus is my co-pilot, but like the fencing version. And I thought this shirt was hilarious because one, I was Jewish, and two, it's like the most retarded thing to put on a shirt because literally nobody outside of like the few hundred fencers in the US get this shit. And it makes sense to anybody else. And I got it because it was the funniest thing. And everyone else thought it was about like stripping, and like teachers would be like, that shirt's inappropriate. I'd be like, no, you're just stupid.
Yeah.
It was funny.
It's an inside joke. You're not privy.
Exactly. That's how I also had the fencing shirt that says, when all else fails, go hard, go fast, scream loud.
I had at my last job, I had a t-shirt that Ashley got for me. I want to see if you guys can get where this is from, because it is really esoteric and it does show my age. But so I wore it, and it was a blue shirt, and it said, raised by a cup of coffee.
Oh
Anyone in the
God,
chat?
I'm sorry, but not me, clearly.
Anybody ever been to homestarrunner.com?
Oh my God.
Oh my
Jesus
God.
fucking Christ. A million years
There
ago.
is this shirt is based off of a strong bad email where someone said, have you ever interviewed Hamsar? And so he took pencils with Post-its, and he was doing that, and he made that up that Hamsar said, I was raised by a cup of coffee. So they made t-shirts of it.
Deep fucking tracks.
I cannot believe I did not get that. I had friends who fucking would nonstop talk about that fucking whatever you're talking about, Homestar Runner.
I watched Teen Girl Squad, and that was it.
Teen Girl Squad!
Speaking of metal,
so the ugly one. What's up?
So speaking of metal and speaking of Christianity, Sean, have you ever heard of a band called Demon Hunter?
Demon Hunter. I've heard of them. I haven't been very familiar with their music.
I feel like you would. Okay, Demon Hunter. They're like if Metallica and Pantera had a baby in holy matrimony. Okay, I think if that's the kind of sound you like, it's really one of the only Christian bands I'll listen to, because I find most of, not all of them, really fucking bad.
Yeah. I agree.
And Demon Hunter really struck this chord with me in an emotional spot. Like they started just kind of like talking about.
People are talking about Trogdor the Burninator. I love it. Sorry.
That's okay.
But no, I will check them out.
They got a great catalog. I would say they have a great catalog. That's my opinion. Cool. But I think you'd like them if you like metal, if you like Pantera, you like Metallica. Oh, fun fact, I live about 20 miles away from Dimebag Darrell's grave. And I've been there. It's in the Arlington Cemetery. And
my cousin was at that show.
He was at that show, the one he got shot?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I had a coworker who was a roadie for Pantera in the 90s.
Ooh, were they like all about like if you didn't drink, you'd have to get out?
No, actually, he said there were people in the crew who were like, they'd offer you something and they'd keep pushing you about it. He said the one person who wasn't like that was Dimebag Darrell. He said,
so cool.
Yeah, he'd be like, like if he was going to do something like Coke, he'd be like, hey, you want a line? Oh, it's not my thing. It's cool, man. And he was just very chill, very easygoing. Mm-hmm. He said when he passed, it was really hard on him. He was real upset. And I can believe it.
Everybody. I remember when that happened. I was young. My older sister was a huge fan of Pantera, and then equally a huge fan of Black Label Society, which I fucking love. Black Label Society, Zakk Wylde's band. And if you like Pantera, you'll like fucking Black Label Society. They have some badass fucking music.
Have you heard of Nita Strauss?
Nita Strauss? I feel like I have.
I have.
This is Alice Cooper's guitarist.
Uh-huh.
And she has a solo album. She is an instrumental metal player, like progressive metal. And
I love progressive metal.
Off the hook. I honestly think she is like the best shredder in like the last 20 years. And that's a lot coming from me. But I have a t-shirt I got from her website that shows her in the old school G.I. Joe logo with the guitar on her shoulder like a bazooka. And it says Real American Guitar Hero. I'm like, yeah.
That's it. Get it, bitch. I love it. I really like, there's a couple of female metal artists that I really like. I really like, Hailstorm. I feel like she has a very classic. Lizzie Hale is a very classic sort of, that classic rock sound. She's got such a fucking killer voice. I love In This Moment. That woman is an artist. She's a little nutty, but I think Maria Brink is her name. She's absolutely one of those gorgeous women I've ever seen in my life. And she is super talented. She's got a lot of crazy esoteric shit she sings about in her music, but it's badass and I'll listen to it all day long. And then I'm on the fence with that girl who played Cindy Lou Who, Taylor Momsen.
Oh, Taylor Momsen. I haven't heard much of her music. She's
kind of like the metal version of Miley Cyrus, but there's a lot of like promiscuity in her work. It seems like she's very blatantly sort of like kind of expressing herself in a provocative way. And it's kind of like that, but there's some songs of hers that I really like. House on a Hill's a good one. I'm Going to Hell.
There is a band called The Fine Constant, and the lead guitarist is a woman named Sarah Longfield.
I feel like I've heard of Sarah Longfield.
She has a YouTube channel. She is incredibly good, but she's progressive rock, so it's a very different style, but love her stuff.
I love progressive. Have you ever heard of this band called Fair to Midland? They're like a folk progressive metal band. Their shit is badass. I recommend the song Whiskey and Ritalin. I would also recommend the song Tall Tales Taste Like Sour Grapes. I would recommend Musical Chairs, Dance of the Manatee. Like I would fucking
Fair to Midland.
Fair to Midland. They're a Texas-based band. Them boys is from fucking Sulphur Springs.
Nice.
So I gotta support these Texas men. But they haven't come out with another album in a long time. Like I think they got under that management or were signed by that dude from oh God, what's his name? He did that oh my God, what's the fucking name of that band? My brain is blanking. The guy who sang that song called BOYB from
BYOB, Serge Tankian.
Yeah, Serge Tankian.
Okay.
Yeah, Serge Tankian. Sorry, my fucking mind's going. I'm probably fixing to go here actually because I need to go to sleep.
Well, I was gonna say we are getting to Mad Libs o'clock. If you guys.
Oh yeah, we got to do some Mad Libs.
Want to do some Schmad Libs?
Yes, I would love to do some Schmad Libs.
Real quick, I got to bring it up because Ashley brought it up. If you guys haven't heard it, progressive metal player. He's an instrumental guitarist, and he's a perfect example of why I love the metal community. Angel Vivaldi.
I've heard of Angel Vivaldi only because I watched Become the Night.
He is incredible. Again, another one of the best shredders, and I actually got as a Valentine's Day gift this year a guitar lesson with him from Ashley,
Dude.
God!
It was so cool, and he was very chill. He also has a great sense of humor. But here's what I love about him. Okay, in the metal community, it's like, are you male, female, gay, straight, white, black, brown, 60, 16? No one cares. Can you play? That's all that matters.
That's all they fucking care about.
He's somebody who's open about being gay. And I'm just like, see, nobody cares. Rob Halford of Judas Priest came out and he's like, oh, guys, I'm gay. And we're all like, you fucking rock. We don't care, dude.
Same with Freddie Mercury. Nobody gave a damn.
No.
Whatchamacallit? Sean, I didn't tell you what I got Jeff for his birthday.
Oh, what'd you get him?
I got him a bass guitar.
Yes.
Yeah, it's awesome. I gotta name it this week.
Name it Rachel Bolin. from Skid Row. I'm fucking obsessed with Skid Row. I need to shut up.
So my friend has been listening to Bardcore, which is like
Way cooler than it
doing
sounds.
covers of songs in old-timey hardcore style. Like if you were to
check out Frog Leap Studios on
medieval
YouTube.
I've heard of Frog Leap Studios.
That guy does so many covers of songs like metal style, and I will admit, the only version of WAP that is actually worth a damn, in my opinion, is his.
No, this one.
Oh my god, it's hilarious.
The Bardcore version, our friend, the musical version is great. I didn't need the lyrics, but they were kind of funny. All right. Interview clock. Mad Libs o'clock.
All right, let's do it.
Mad Libs o'clock, and we're going on theme. I found it I've opened it to an on theme one.
Yay!
So.
I won't.
All right. So 1, 2, 3. So chat's gonna get every fourth word. 1, 2, 3. Chat. Oh, you guys are working on a plural part of the body. You're welcome. It's a gift for you.
God.
Sean, it's been the longest since you've played Mad Libs of anybody. So a female first name, please. Or actually any first name, because we don't discriminate based on gender on my channel.
Well. Oh, I got to do it, Jesse.
Yay!
Jesse.
Because I'm not going to like this, am I? Oh, God. All right, Sweet Pea, a place, please.
Place. Ooh, let's say, I always like saying this one, the ass end of nowhere. Because that could be anywhere.
Fucking Egypt, but that's me.
Aren't they right next to each other?
Ass end of nowhere.
Verb, please.
How about snap? Well, that's not. Yeah, it is a verb, but not a good one.
You want a different one?
How about shoot?
So, okay, we've got body parts, toes, dirty knees, balls. I really like dirty knees. I don't know.
I like dirty knees too.
On the Rob Zombie earlier?
Oh my god, yeah, we were my sister went to a Rob Zombie concert and she was actually treated with better etiquette than she was at a My Chemical Romance concert. So
yeah.
At a concert for Jimmy Eat World, some guy was trying to get to the front. He shoved Ashley so hard she almost fell down.
What?
And on instinct, I reached out like this, and he just escaped my grasp before I grabbed him by the back of his shirt and pummeled him.
Good. Beat his ass, Sean.
He just got out of reach.
Lucky him. Chat, an animal plural is what you're working on next. You guys all know my story about getting hit in the face by a Rams fan and hitting him back twice as hard. So.
Shit.
And now, Sean, a noun.
A noun? Ooh. We need to do something fun. Ball gag.
Oh, that's a good one.
Depends on your definition of safe sex.
Sweet Pea, also a noun.
Ooh, a noun. That's a place, a person, or thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll say, God, do I want to do it Ryan Kennel? But that might be a little bit
you
too...
don't.
Okay.
I'm already a person in this story. I don't want him to be in this story.
Okay.
No bitches in this story, please. Jane says no. Jane cuts bitches.
Okay. Andy McCallum will be in the story now.
That's a proper noun, though. Don't do people. People suck for these.
Okay, all right. Proper. Okay, so how about...
Yeah. Proper noun suck. Everyone always wants to like
shit.
Which is fair because it's the first thing you think of, but they're always the most boring for Mad Libs. It's a general note for everybody. If it says noun, don't.
How about Batman's Mansion?
Wayne Manor.
Wayne Manor.
No. Bat dong.
Yeah. You want to know something hilarious? I have a friend who's like really
forgot about that one.
Fucking steeped in the
Actually, you know
Batman.
what? I'm not gonna say Wayne Manor. I'm gonna say Bat Mansion.
Bat Mansion. That's dope.
So the Bat Mansion, Robin.
Okay, so speaking of Wayne Manor and penises, for whatever reason, my friend is like deeply steeped in the Batman fandom, and she came across a Tumblr roleplay blog where they had essentially race swapped Bruce with an Asian man, and so instead of being Bruce Wayne, he was now Bruce Wang. And so me and her started coming up with all this shit. He fucking was like, she's like, I can't get it out of my head. Wang Industries, Wang Manor.
Verb is choke. All right.
I got to tell you, some names I've come across in my life, okay, this is a real name I encountered. I'm not making this up. I wish I could make this up, but I'm not that creative. There was a young lady I met. Her last name was Fister.
Yeah.
And her first name, I shit you not, was Mia. Mia Fister.
Oh my God. I once met a dude named Wendell Fong. I thought that was fucking hilarious.
I did meet a real Mike Hunt once.
I had one at my middle school.
Fucking love it. Mike
Graduating next, Mike Hunt.
I did have, when I used to host open mics at Flappers, I would get the occasional crew who would throw in, the Mike Hunt, Seymour Butts, etc. Those were fun. Occasionally they would get me with one that I did. The best too is I would usually see them and, make a joke on it. My co-host, Samantha, the sweetest person, she would just fucking read them. She'd be like, Mike Hunt? Is there a Mike Hunt here?
I actually was working at a restaurant in college, and everybody was like crowded in the back room laughing. And I said, "What's so funny?" And they held up an American Express debit card that had been left behind by a gentleman named, I shit you not, Seymour Wiener.
Yes! Oh my God, what a person!
Who would steal that guy's identity?
Sorry, I knew. Oh yeah, huge ass. That was one she actually read. Huge ass. She legit yelled huge ass in there. There was another one where she yelled. It was like a racial slur, which is okay because she was black, but it was hilarious.
I had a joke on one of my videos where I did like the top 5 most overrated big bore handgun cartridges, and I told everybody, if you have any problems with this list, please fill out a butthurt form, links in the description, and send it to our head of customer complaints, which was Haywood Jablomi at nobodycares.com.
Yes.
200-watt studio. I don't have a fucking camera, dude, or else my camera would be on.
We'll get her on a camera.
I've lost
one
it.
of these days.
I'll get a camera. Don't worry.
Dixon Cider. I almost forgot about that one.
Oh, Dixon Cider.
Dixon Cider.
Of course.
Oh, God. I just like.
Okay, so animals. Chat, sorry. Guys. Bees, lemurs, wiener dogs, platypi, lemmings, emus.
Emu.
So
hang on just a second. My crotch. Is there a my crotch in the bar? Ivana Tinkle.
Amanda,
put down your glasses. Ivana Tinkle.
Right, I want to go to bed.
Platypi it is. Well, then stop fucking talking so much.
Okay.
Sorry.
I love you, but literally, you don't get to complain about wanting to go to bed when you are the reason that that it took me 10 minutes to get to this next fucking Mad Lib word.
My bad.
Bitch. I love you. I love you. Sweet Pea, I love you forever.
I love you too. It's okay.
All right, Sean, you have an adjective. Oh, chat, your next one is going to be an adjective also. Sean, you have an adjective.
Adjective. How about uncouthly?
Uncouthly. Or just uncouth. Yeah.
That'll work.
There you go. The Lee makes it an adverb.
I wanted to do something classy as fuck.
Classy. Sweaty, a verb ending in ing.
All right. How about humping?
Good one. I wish I would have thought of it.
Jeff, you get a number. 69.
I knew you were going to say that. Yes.
I don't have to speak with this girl anymore. We just make gestures and we know what we're saying.
Cromulent? What does that mean? I don't know what that word means.
It's a Simpsons joke.
Oh, okay, never mind.
It's not a real word.
Scalding, pegging, voluptuous. Anal volcano is not.
Flaming Team P, you embiggen my spirit.
50-11.
You'll get it.
Okay. Scalding, also an adjective. 50-11 is the best number.
40-11 geese.
Scalding. We use petting very. We've been using it a lot, actually. What else? Flavorful. Flavorful's fun.
I like flavorful. That's a good pick.
Too bad.
Flavorful's always good. All right. That'll do it for the chat. Sean, you have a plural noun.
A plural noun.
Nouns for the rest of you. So think of your nouns.
Plural noun. Let's see. Let's go with I'm sorry. Give me a second. I'll think of something. Okay. Cosby cocktails.
Oh dear.
Ah! Oh God.
Oh my God. That's gonna land hilariously where it goes. All right. Noun. Sweet pea. Noun.
Noun. My house.
Like yours specifically.
Baby Outlaws. Saloon. There we go.
All right. Jeff and noun, please.
Funeral director.
Funeral director.
All right, guys. Interview with the Banshee.
I love it. Please.
News anchor. I'm here with Jesse, a real-life Banshee who has agreed to talk with us about what it's like living as a monster in the ass end of nowhere. Thank you guys so much. Banshee. Everyone expects me to shoot all the time at the top of my dirty knees, but I'm actually a fairly quiet person. News anchor. So you're a ball gag that doesn't scream? No, I scream as loudly as the next Batmansion, but only when someone is about to choke. And my neighbors aren't exactly dropping like platypi. News anchor. So you don't pose an uncouth threat to the community here. Banshee.
Really
of course not. If anything, I'd be an asset to the neighborhood watch because I can sense danger humping from 69 miles away. The danger at which danger distance at which danger frequently humps.
Yeah.
News anchor, I feel more flavorful already. You heard it here first, Cosby cocktails and gentlemen. Banshees mean no Baby Outlaw saloon. So give them all a funeral director, won't you?
Oh my God.
Don't give them that. My takeaway from this is that we should now start referring to women as Cosby cocktails.
Oh my God.
That's my takeaway from this story.
Oh, I can see the Twitter comments now.
They're coming for you, Bob.
Cosby cocktails and gentlemen. It's canon. It happened here. It's canon.
I love it. Canon.
All right. Well, Cosby cocktails and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of tonight's live stream. So, what's that? What's that? The cat. Come get it. So Sean, tell us anything you want us to know about you, your channel, what's going on in your life before we go.
I've been a little lazy on uploading, but I'm trying to do more. Basically, if you haven't seen my channel, what we do is one of my favorite hobbies is target shooting with big bore handguns. I've always been fascinated by trying to tame the beast, if you will, and shoot accurately since I was a kid. So if you think 44 Magnum is on the small end, you're at the right place if you come visit me at Go Big Bore or Go Home on YouTube.
Huzzah.
I
Sweet
love
Pea.
that. Hi, everybody.
Where are they?
Baby Outlaw, Sweet Pea, whatever y'all want to call me. But okay, so I have a couple things that I'm going to be doing. So something really exciting tomorrow. I'm going to be on a little known stream known as the Matriarchy with about 5 other lovely ladies. And we're going to be promoting Jessie's INDIEGOGO campaign for her fencing club, which I think is absolutely fucking amazing and awesome. And I think everyone should support it because it's a really good cause, I would say. Like, she wants to change some things that are going on in this industry and have been going on for a long fucking time. And I am all in support of that. I am also going to be doing a fandom jump with Cody, known as the Bass Man. He is the man who made Jesse's lovely intro that we see in all of her streams.
And like
absolutely,
all my t-shirt designs too.
All her t-shirt designs, absolutely fucking brilliant. The guy is what did y'all call him? He's
the Rain Man of logos.
The Rain Man of logos. This man, he made my logo. I didn't ask him to do it. And I just gave him. We were talking about it in Jesse's Discord server, which is the Mindless.
Oh yeah! By the way, y'all need to join my Discord server.
Absolutely.
It's awesome.
It is awesome. And I said that I was thinking of something neon and something in a black background. And he literally came up with something within like a day and sent it to me as a surprise. And I absolutely fucking fell in love with it. And if you don't know what the fandom jump is where Cody essentially talks about, specific fandoms with a specific person who is well adjusted within the fandom. And so what we're going to be talking about is the Resident Evil fandom. And in particular, I actually subjected the poor man to playing Resident Evil 5, which, if you don't know, is the last Resident Evil game where you cannot move and shoot at the same fucking time. It was an absolute blast to play with him. We filmed our portion where we discuss, I believe, a few things. We would discuss we watched and discussed the fan film together, and we also talked a little bit about what's been happening in the Resident Evil film franchise as far as live action adaptations go. But we all know what they've done to Leon S. Kennedy. They fucked up Claire. And I mean, if you fuck up Claire Redfield, I mean, that's pretty bad because she's the easiest character to really get right. But I mean, this isn't really new in the Resident Evil franchise as far as the films go. We've sort of been getting our asses kicked by live action adaptations. But anyway, that's going to be coming out Friday on the 29th. We're almost done with it, and I'll probably link it in Jesse's Discord server.
Heck yeah.
But you should all give it a watch and subscribe to the Bass Man. Subscribe to me. My name is Baby Outlaw.
Drop Baby Outlaw's link right now.
I also have a Twitter if you want to follow me there. It is Baby Outlaw, capital B, capital O, Outlaw, double underscore, and you should find me there.
Also in the description if you want to just go click on it there because I like making your lives easier.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, of course. I always put everyone's links in the description. So channel link is there as well if you miss it in the chat, but it's coming through right now, as well as Sean's. Let me make sure I drop that one in there as well. Sean's channel link, Go Big Boy or Go Home. He's been around on the Tubi used for a bit longer, so he's very searchable.
Yes.
As well. So but Baby Outlaw is going to be very searchable very soon too. So make sure you guys subscribe to all these amazing, wonderful people. Jeff, anything you want to throw out to the audience before we go?
Yeah, folks, check out today's video. I jumped on Michael Myers. He's apparently homophobic now because he killed
loved it
equally, indiscriminately.
Loved it.
And be on the lookout for the Wokebusters sign up list for this Thursday night show.
Yeah.
So
that's when it drops.
No, just the email sign up list. I'm gonna let everybody know. Indiegogo will launch around the time the movie drops, so be on the lookout for that.
And before then,
around which movie?
The new
Ghostbusters movie.
Okay, because I want in on Wokebusters.
Oh, you will not miss out. Oh, also too, let's talk about that narration thing.
Oh yes, absolutely.
So that's gonna do it for us tonight, guys. Make sure you tune in for the Matriarchy tomorrow. I'll be joined again by Sweet Pea, by Baby Outlaw, my amazing, wonderful friend and YouTube person. I don't know.
Colleague.
YouTube colleague.
Well,
It's not so person.
Yeah, I'll come too, even though I'm not a woman, but I'll still support my mom because it's important. And I'd like to go to the fencing club one day too, so that's important too.
A cat at the fencing club? That'd be epic.
We got to raise enough money for a cat room, so you got.
Yes.
I really think the greatest animal meetup ever would be Shit Pancake and Elsa, my wire hair doxy, because they're both just crazy, energetic. This would be really fun to watch.
Ready for
I
it.
love your dog, Sean. I love dachshunds. Oh my gosh,
Your
one of my
pupper
favorite
dudes are the best.
Yeah, I had some trouble yesterday because they killed a pigeon in the backyard, and I was like,
It's like yours are more murderous than ours. Ours just kill bugs and not always very well.
Yeah,
Neither does Louie. Louie sucks at cutting, fucking killing anything.
The last thing I'll drop for you guys is a little video I made over on my new channel, Milestone Fencing Studio. A little more about fencing. And please drop a sub over there. You head over that way. And then again, join us in the matriarch. In addition to Sweet Pea, we're gonna have Anna, of course, Mary, Mandy, and Kelly will also be there. It's gonna be great. And yeah, hopefully drum up some excitement about my new project. So thank you guys for being here tonight. Thank you to my wonderful guests. Thank you, Sean, to your wonderful gun expertise.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Thank you
for having me.
Bringing your love, energy, and just vast knowledge about a great many things.
Thank you.
You guys are the best.
Thank you for having me.
Until next time, Cosby Crock cocktails and gentlemen. God up for